A retired Army major says the Special Forces community is being hogtied with no ability to defend itself against ABC claims an Afghan prisoner was murdered in 2012. The national broadcaster last week published claims from an unidentified US Marine who accused Special Forces soldiers of killing the prisoner to free up a seat on a US extraction helicopter. The US soldier is basing his claim on hearing a pop during an anti-narcotics mission in Afghanistan. The former Platoon Commander has told Sky News the claims are baseless.
I'm not going to assume what he heard or thought that pop was, but if he thought it was the pop of a weapon system, that would have been unachievable. A pop at that height might have been an explosion going off from the Drug Enforcement Administration that were blowing up the cache of drugs that we were there with the Afghan partner force to destroy in support of their mission. It might have been 1,000 other things that I can't allude to. I can only provide fact that there were pops and explosions going off all over the place, as was the nature of our mission, but never were any of those executing detainees, as is accused.
Former Commander Heston Russell says the claims published by the ABC are hurting every soldier who risked their lives in Afghanistan.
They're very disappointing, and for 4.5 years now there's been an Inspector General of the Australian Defence Force inquiry going on into alleged war crimes in Afghanistan, and I'm legally not allowed to talk about that any further other than to say these accusations should be then taken to that inquiry, which hopefully it has done now, and then gone through the deliberate justice system that we as taxpayers pay so much money for. And then, myself, Heston Russell, as the Commander of November Platoon, can then be called before a court of law and then taken through the evidence and be required to provide evidence and taken through the justice system that we would really love to be put through, as opposed to this sort of trial by media, which is occurring and is really starting to hurt our soldiers a lot.
Another member of the Special Forces platoon has described the murder claims as disgusting and outrageous. Commander Russell says now more than ever his soldiers need support, not unsubstantiated claims.
We've just lost more veterans to suicide in the last 20 years than we did in the entire Vietnam campaign. So the impact this is having is huge, and particularly within the Special Forces community, who's not allowed to defend themselves in the public forum. We are being hogtied and used as punching bags, unable to speak out against these accusations.
Commander Russell says anti-terror catch and kill missions did take place, but were backed up by DNA evidence and high-level intelligence.
We would fly out onto targets to capture and kill terrorists and insurgents that we had their fingerprints. We had biological forensic data from, a suicide IED vest explosion that had happened, the previous month. We would go out there, and whenever we encountered those people that we were tracking the whole time and engaged or killed them during combat, we would then fingerprint and roll them. We would retinal scan and roll them. We would take DNA swabs. All the sort of stuff you see potentially on CSI on TV. That's the level of precision that we were required to conduct ourselves in our operations, because all the data we could then also take from target could then help us to conduct further targeting down the track. So it wasn't simply go in there, look for a fight, blow things up and leave. It was go in there with a highly precise mission with multiple levels of intelligence, drones and UAVs flying over our head, and conducting ourselves, taking photos, taking DNA evidence, a very highly precise and well-rehearsed operation.